Good evening, class. This is Mr. Hall back with another lesson for World Geography, Lesson 3. And today we'll be talking about climate and vegetation. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So starting with climate, the sub-Saharan Africa has 5 basic climates: tropical rainforest, desert, savanna, Mediterranean, and highland. Those climates support a variety of vegetation and wildlife. In this lesson, we will look at the relationships in the region between climate, vegetation, and wildlife. So right here, we're going to get into tropical. The equator divides the continent in Africa in half. Temperature averages in lands near the equator tend to be high throughout the year. In sub-Saharan Africa, a tropical rainforest climate exists around the equator. The area receives over 60 inches of rainfall a year on average and has no dry seasons. The incredible amount of rain throughout the year within the climate zone supports the world's second largest rainforest. The Congo rainforest has a layer of underbrush made of shrubs, mosses, and ferns. The underbrush is covered with trees that reach 60 feet in height. And then the third layer of the rainforest consists of trees that grow as tall as 150 feet. The third layer is known as the canopy, and its branches cover the rainforest. The vegetation of the rainforest supports over 10,000 species of wildlife. Among them are gorillas and chimpanzees. A special breed of elephant is also found in the rainforest. Now we would talk about the savanna. To the north and south of the tropical climate zone are savanna climate zones. A large part of sub-Saharan Africa experiences this climate. Summers are very hot and wet, while winters tend to be dry but mild in temperature. There is no real winter in this zone. Average annual rainfall ranges from 35 to 45 inches. The Serengeti Plain is located on the Tanzania and Kenya in East Africa. It is a vast grassland area comprising of 12,000 square miles, and it is home to over 50 species of large animals including wildebeest, gazelles, and zebras. Each year these animals migrate hundreds of miles following the rains that keep them alive. The migration, which all involves the movement of hundreds and thousands of animals, is known as one of the natural wonders of the world. Now we will get into steppe. The steppe climate zones exist in the large southern parts of the continent just below the Sahara Desert. The Sahel and it has a steppe climate, and there's less than 10 inches of rainfall each year in these zones. Most of them occur only in the summer months, and the lack of rain also allows for growth of certain kinds of vegetation, such as hardy shrubs, grasses, and trees. For the desert, 2 of the deserts along the region of the Namib Desert and the Kalahari Desert. The Namib Desert is located in Namibia, and the Namib has some of the highest sand dunes in the world and is also home to some unusual lizards such as barking geckos. The Kalahari Desert is located in the south and it is a very sandy area. However, it's considered semi-arid. These parts receive more rain and are able to sustain low-lying grasses. Various large animals use these areas for grazing. Cheetahs and other predators are known to hunt the grazers. Now we're getting into sub-Saharan Africa and the land formation along the Mediterranean, which along the south coast of the Cape Town, there is a Mediterranean climate zone. Mild temperature year-round make it seem like there's only one season, spring. During the summer months, the temperatures rarely raise above 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and winter months are wet, but temperatures remain mild, rarely going below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And then now we have highland, which the mountains of East Africa experience the highland climate, and then snow covers some of the peaks year-round. Vegetation includes delicious and coniferous plants. So going on, it's to diligence yourself and excuse me, guys. Self-discipline to set aside distractions to stay focused on your job. These are the 5 points. Understand the job, get started, focus your energy, maintain quality, and evaluate your work. And then there's a lot of diligence that goes into being mentally focused on working and having the physical strength and energy to do one task at a time. So now we're going to get into the questions, but of course I'll open a Word document for you, and so that way we can get started. So with that being said, we'll get on to the first part of the questions. Let me make this bigger, I'm sorry. Just give me a minute. Okay. So the first question is, the blank is able to support grazing animals in areas and its climates are considered to be blank. So with that being said, if we go back and we scroll up, if it goes, the first one is going to be where is it? Oh yes, this is Kalahari Desert and semi-arid. So we're going to go ahead and click that. There we go. And you can actually find that at the bottom where we talk about the deserts. So it's the Kalahari Desert located in the south, and some parts are considered semi-arid, and then the various large animals use these for grazing. So we found that. Second one is a blank climate is predominant in Sahel. So we're going to go ahead and go to Sahel, and which is up on the top, and it says it has steppe climate. So with that being said, we're going to click steppe. If it works. There we go. Number 3, the tallest trees in the Congo rainforest are approximately blank feet high. This we could go up as well. So we see the Congo rainforest has an underbrush, and the trees grow 150 feet tall. Trees also reach 60 feet in height, so we'll go ahead and put 150. So now number 4, what type of climate zones exist along the equator in the region? We'll go ahead and go back to where it talks about the equator again. So it has a tropical rainforest climate that exists along the equator. So going down, we have the tropical rainforest. That's that answer. Summer in the Serengeti Plains, I apologize for my pronunciation, are blank. So going back, we can find that right here, right where it talks about the Serengeti Plain. Summers are very hot and wet, and we find summers are hot and wet. That's the answer. Number 6, animals in this, again, Serengeti Plains migrate in such a large group to their need for, if we go back and go down, we see that every year these animals migrate hundreds of miles, and the migration, which involves the movement of hundreds and thousands of animals. So we could go ahead and put migration, which is instinctual migration, as why these large groups need for it. Number 7, the blank of the rainforest helps to support the diet of gorillas in the region. So we find this by going, I believe, up. Yes. The answer is actually vegetation. If I could go ahead and highlight that for y'all, as I failed to do that. it'll let me. Okay, well, it's right there, vegetation among the gorillas and chimpanzees, so the answer is going to be vegetation. Number 8, the tropical rainforest climate zones has a region of an average of blank inches of rainfall each year. We could go ahead and where it talks about the tropical rainforest. It has over 60 inches of rain, a year, and it has no dry season, so we could go ahead and click 60. Number 9, the major desert located in Namibia is the blank desert, which, if you go down, where it talks about the deserts, the Namib Desert is located in Namibia and has the highest sand dunes in the world. So we could go ahead and click that as the answer. And then name some of the major features in the Namib Desert. High sand dunes. We go back. Talks about high sand dunes, and then it talks about some unusual lizards, such as the barking gecko, which, if you look at the picture right here, it shows it along with the high dunes. So if we go back to our answers, we can see that we see high sand dunes and home to barking geckos. So that's the answer to that. And as of now, that is all for this lessons, guys. Like I said before, let me know if you have any questions or regards to the lessons. Thank you, and I hope to see you all online soon.